Hello, friends. It is your friendly executive cat herder, Marissa Friedman, and I hope all of you are doing well today. So many of you know that I have been such a fan of just kind of fearless women in business, and in partnering a little bit with the Women's Venture Summit, I wanted to highlight some of the fearless female leaders that I've had the opportunity to connect with, share some of their stories, and also their successes. One of the things that I've noticed specifically in the venture capital space is when we look at all of the money that's kind of given out, we know that female founders are getting such a small percentage of that. We also know that diverse female founders are even getting a smaller chunk of that money. And so what I wanted to do was to highlight people that have gone through kind of any barriers that may have been set for them, kind of defy any social constructs that are kind of in place. And one of those people for me has been meeting Isis. Now, if you are on Clubhouse and you don't know who Isis is, you must be living under a rock. Having had the opportunity to be on the app since September of last year when it first betaed, there is just a dynamic group of people that have come and gone. But one of the things that I really appreciate about what she brings to the table is that she has a unique ability to just understand a business model, apply it, deploy, and execute. And that's where I think we're all at today. I think all of us have bought a class online and not logged in and not done the work. And the difference is that the people are actually getting things done. They're monetizing it. They're making money. They're creating impact. And so just briefly, this is Isis. We're going to have her on today. She's just going to talk a little bit about her journey and her origin story. I will have links for all of you to connect with her after our live stream today. Without further ado, I am bringing her in. She's from the East Coast. Here is my dear friend, Isis. Hello. How are you, friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing really great. I just love telling people about how we met because I think it really talks to that kind of date to marry strategy and business where you meet people, you connect with them online, then you decide to meet up with them offline, and then all sorts of awesomeness happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, absolutely. So just, background story. We were in a group. I want to say, how long did that group? There was a couple of groups that were just moderated 24/7. Do you remember that early in the Clubhouse days? Sleep deprived. Isis is on the East Coast. We're on the West Coast. I mean, I think some of these rooms are running 24/7. And very early and very quickly, I could see that she was a fantastic moderator. So tell us a little bit about that origin story for you in Clubhouse, Isis.
Yeah, for sure. When I came on the app, it was all about leading with giving rather than receiving, because I know when you do that, you get everything you want. So I originally came on there to show other indie filmmakers, because I am a filmmaker, how they could get funding for free for their projects. And I inadvertently wound up monetizing the room that I was running, and people started contacting me saying, hey, we want to hire you. And that was just from being authentic and being a value adder. And that's when I realized how powerful this new platform was. So I said to myself, well, Isis, what are your talents and skills and how can you monetize them? I've always been a great orator. So I said, all right, let's try moderating out. So I moderated for free for 15 hours a day over 10 weeks to learn the art of moderating. And then after that, I started charging people. And today I charge them $400 an hour and they gladly pay for it. So I think for me, the thing that I learned out of just being authentic, being myself, and understanding how to monetize your talents and skills is that people are willing to pay for quality and premium. So if you are that and you're able to market yourself and put yourself out there, network and leverage relationships, you'll do very well. And you have to be a problem solver, which I'm really good at. So yeah.
Well, and I think one of the things that I noticed with you as you started to put together this Master Moderator University, which we're going to touch on, is that before anybody knew of Isis and Clubhouse, Isis was actually in the TV and film industry, right? So she is correct me if I'm wrong here, first Black woman to produce a mob show. Is that correct?
Yeah. First Black female to write and direct an Italian mob show, and we're actually in the process of hopefully getting international distribution for it. So finally people will get to see mob mentality.
Well, and I think that's what's so great about kind of being in this digital era where you can have talent in one area and translate all of those things that you've learned into something else. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, based on the website, now I'm gonna call you out in the most loving way possible. I have never seen a landing page that had so many testimonials from people that have taken your course and participated in your live program. And I'd love for you to kind of just reverse engineer for people, like, what is this program all about? Because all I know is I got here and I saw this incredible, incredible thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's a 5-day course, I believe. Only for a limited time will you be doing it live, right? Because there's going to be a premium on that. But I mean, I am looking at this and there is just pages and pages and pages of people who are sharing their experience. So kind of walk me through this process, right? Obviously, you got good at moderating. You're billing out like a lawyer, quite literally, right? That's also in your background, if I remember correctly.
You have a law degree.
Right. So you have a law degree. You're billing like a lawyer. You're moderating rooms. And I bet people are just like, how do you do it? Right? Is that kind of where that started from?
Yeah, and that's what Master Moderator University actually does. It lifts up the veil, and I literally give people my blueprint. You know, I've always been someone that said, I don't compare myself to people. I don't see people as my competition. I know we can go further if we work together. So I formed Master Moderator University, and I essentially, over a 5-day period, teach people the art of moderating, how to do it. And then on day 5, I showed them how to make money. So day 1 is we're laying the foundation, teaching you all the basics of Clubhouse, where some people are thinking, why am I learning this? I already know this. But you actually realize on day 5 why I taught it to you. It's a great way to convert clients. Day 2, we do mindset, because if you don't have that confidence and mindset to be on the big stages with the Les Browns, with the Hill Harpers, with the Damon Johns, with the Cardones, you're not going to show up and do your best job. Day 3 and 4, we do the live drills. And that's when I introduce my students to the 21 personalities they're going to meet while master moderating on Clubhouse. And I show them how to deal with everyone and make sure that whether they're delivering a good message or a bad message, everyone leaves with their dignity intact. And then on day 5, I give you my blueprint and show you how I make $60,000 a month. You literally have my funnel. It's all up to you at that point.
But I think that's what's so great, because you heard me intro when I was talking about the people that are buying courses. Like, I feel like there's addiction to I'm going to buy this class to learn how to do X. I'm going to do this to do that. And then people buy it, they don't log in. And then they like 6 months later, they reach out to the person. They're like, hey, I want a refund. And it's like, that's not how it works. How it works is you actually take the class, you go through the process, and you do the work. And that's one of the things. Isis and I got an opportunity. We did like a micro Clubhouse meetup in person with some of the personalities that are on there. And the thing, that group is very driven. That group is getting stuff done. And we're not just talkers, we're doers. But more importantly, I think for people that are watching this, right, the reason that I'm promoting the Venture Summit and the reason that I'm interviewing Isis is because I know that there are a lot of people out there that have great ideas and they don't know how to get those ideas out into the world. And they're focused on the narratives, and kind of when we talk about mindset, they're focused on this, I don't have a budget, I don't know how. They're focused on the I don'ts, right? And what I'm looking at is someone that just said, I'm going to come in, I'm going to do this, I'm going to learn how to do it better than anybody else, and then I'm going to sell it and I'm going to make money. And I think that's a really important thing for our female founders that are watching right now, because so often we are asked to speak for free. So often we are asked to just give away our services. So often we are asked, in the spirit of sisterhood, right, to just kind of do it. And the cool thing is once you get to a certain point and you make a certain amount of money, you can decide who you're going to give that time to and when. It's not about like, oh, I'm not going to empower my community. It's I am going to choose to support and empower the communities. And that kind of just brings me up to some of the things that we're doing with the Venture Summit. So if you give me half a second here, one of the things that I thought was really fantastic when I was going through this process of trying to figure out who do I want to talk to, who do I want to bring up and chat about entrepreneurship, the theme of our summit this year is really incredible to me, because it's all about rising. It's all about sharing. It's all about connecting. It's all about together we rise. And I think for so many of us, we are stuck in this pattern of endless competition. We are stuck in this pattern of trying to be like everybody else instead of embracing the skills that we've learned in our careers, right? Isis has her law degree. She's working in TV and film. She was not a professional moderator. She did not have her MESP speaker certification. She didn't have her CSP. She didn't have all of those acronyms after her name, right? I mean, I think we can get a little acronym crazy, but with this particular summit, what's really different is there's two tracks. There is for investors that want to learn how to do due diligence. That's something me and Isis talk about all the time, especially when you meet people on a platform like Clubhouse. Like, you see people, they present really well. Yes, it is one of those platforms where no one can fake it, at least initially, because you have to show up and speak. But when you do your diligence on people, and we've seen this any number of times over the last 8 months, right? People get canceled every other month. The same people have a pattern, right? People feel screwed over, whatever. Some of that is valid. And the other part is people didn't do their diligence before investing.
Yes.
People didn't say, hey, have other people had a positive experience? And so part of that process with the Venture Summit is we've got some tracks for angel investors so that you can meet with female founded venture capital firms to understand what that diligence process looks like. And then on the entrepreneurial side, like, you're going to get to actually see women pitch. There's going to be people that walk away. The Women's Venture Summit, about 18 million raised in capital for female founded businesses and BIPOC business owners. So, and I joke, it's like when I tell this to people, they go, what is this? Where is this? And I'm like, exactly. So, shout out to Isis for being up for having this discussion about entrepreneurship, sharing her story. And also, I think it's really important. You went through it so fast. And I know you know this already. Again, 0 to how much per month in recurring revenue from your university?
Absolutely. So Master Moderator University, everything I've done on Clubhouse in the months I've been there, I went from 0 to 30,000 a month in 8 weeks. And then I went from 30,000 a month to 60,000 a month when I added on Master Moderator University. And I did that just 2 months later. So again, leading with giving rather than receiving. Look how you can take an original business, start training people, and really literally double your income. So Master Moderator University is a live 5-day class. We teach you guys how to do it. I'm your instructor. And I'm more excited for the Women's Venture Summit. I think it's going to be amazing. And I think what you guys are doing is so important because, as we all know, women have such a hard time getting funding. And it's I think We Rise Together is such a great theme.
Well, and I think it's really interesting because I think you and I have seen all the different types of women in this space, right? Clubhouse was this interesting mix of like enterprise and personal development and professional development, like all these different people meshing, right? So at first it was kind of the battle of the coaches, right? The executive coaches who had only coached in the Fortune 50, Fortune 100, and then the coaches who were like, I went to Bali and I'm a coach, right? So, and no one is good or bad, but I think all of these juxtapositions of personalities, people were just like, how do I know what to trust? How do I know what to do? So we're trying to create a safe space for women in a protected environment for them to ask those questions, for them to know that just because someone is interested in investing in your company, you have a right to create your own target avatar investor profile. What kind of people do you want in the impact investing space as well? Do you want to be a checkbox for someone, or do you want an investor that is fully invested in the company, right? One of the founders, Sylvia Ma, has invested in over 50 companies herself. And so I think that's, to me, is where, we can talk, but it's like, I can't say that I've invested in 50, like that I'm in 50 companies right now. That's what I aspire to be at some point. But just kind of to bring it all back home, I think when I look at Isis, when I look at you, I think we are in such a collaborative space with one another. We really serve as advisors to each other. We really have that safety and kind of that, I joke, that date to marry strategy of opening a relationship, that relational equity that comes, right? But I think for those of you that are watching and you're going like, okay, what could I do? How could I do that? It's really simple. The first step is you have to make a decision that you're going to do something. The second thing is you put in the hours to learn what you need to learn so that you are able to make that profitable. And what I noticed, and I think Isis, you see this too, is people often have businesses where there's a lot of passion, a lot of purpose, and not a lot of profit. And what I love about your model is that you focused very heavily on combining all three. Because again, that's not your core business, right? Your core business is in TV and film. And I just want to thank you so much for coming in today. Can you tell everyone how they can get in contact with you?
Absolutely. For anyone who would like to reach out to me, you can do so by sending an email to hello@mastermoderatoruniversity.com. Again, that's hello@mastermoderatoruniversity.com. And if you want to apply, go to mastermoderatoruniversity.com. But I am excited for the summit. I will be there. I hope you guys will be there too. It's going to be amazing. Us women need to stick together. Together we rise. I'll see you guys at the summit.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Isis.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.